Today I'm going to show you 3 of my favorite peach recipes that can be made with just 1 peach. Here are a few quick and easy single serving and small batch peach recipes that you're sure to love. So let's get started with a small batch of buttery golden peach scones that we've topped with a wonderful honey vanilla glaze. Here's what you need. Heat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. In a large mixing bowl, stir together 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Using a pastry blender, a fork, or your fingertips, cut 4 tablespoons of cold butter into the flour mixture until the mixture resembles fine crumbs. The secret to making flaky scones is to use cold ingredients. The milk, the butter, the egg yolk all have to be cold. Essentially, the fat has to be cold. In a small bowl, whisk together 1/4 cup of milk, 1 large egg yolk, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Now pour the liquid into the flour mixture. Once you add in the liquid ingredients, stir the dough very little to combine. Be sure you don't overmix the dough. Overworking the dough will lead to chewy, dry scones rather than light and flaky ones. Now we'll gently stir in 1/2 cup of chopped peaches. You can peel the peach if you want, or you can leave it unpeeled. I've peeled this peach. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured work surface. Knead very lightly and form a 5-inch circle that is approximately 1 inch thick. Cut the circle into 4 wedges and place them on the baking sheet. Bake for 12 to 14 minutes until golden brown. Let the scones cool on the baking sheet for about 5 minutes. Then transfer onto a wire rack to cool completely, which takes about 20 minutes. While the scones are cooling, we'll make the glaze. In a small bowl, add 1/2 cup of sifted powdered sugar. I like to sift the powdered sugar. That way we get all the lumps out, and when we drizzle the glaze over the scones, it's smooth and creamy. Now add 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, 1/2 tablespoon of honey, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and whisk until smooth. Spoon over the cooled scones and enjoy. I think it's really best to let these sit just a little bit after we've drizzled the glaze over, but I'm going to go ahead and break one apart so you can see the inside. Look at all those peaches in there. You can get a peach in every bite. Let me take a taste. They're buttery and soft, and I really love the honey and vanilla glaze. It's really delicious. And the flavors go so well with the peaches. I'll let the glaze harden on the rest, but I'm gonna eat this one. The second peach recipe we're making is a single serving peach crisp. Now I love making fruit crisps because they're just so easy. And you can make them using different types of fruit. Of course we're using peach here, but think about making one with blueberries or apples or plums or apricots. They're easy to customize. Here's what you need. Heat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Mix together 1 chopped peach, peeled or unpeeled. I'm leaving mine peeled. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla in a small bowl. Transfer the mixture to a lightly buttered 10-ounce ramekin. Next we'll make the topping. In another small bowl, mix together 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of old-fashioned oats, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Scatter the topping over the peaches evenly. Next, bake in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until the topping is golden. Cool for 10 minutes and top with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream if you'd like. This looks so good.
I love the crunchy top with like a syrupy fruit underneath. It's amazingly good. Oops, got that.
Got this part. Good?
Very good. Very
You
nice.
going in for more?
One more. Should I some?
Yes. The third peach recipe is one of my favorites because again, it's so easy to customize. It's a single serving Dutch baby that's loaded with peaches, and it's perfect for breakfast or even dessert. Here's what you need. A Dutch baby is also called a puffed pancake, and it's a cross between a crepe and a pancake. It's so easy to make and incredibly delicious too. First, preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Put a half of a tablespoon of butter in a 6.5-inch cast iron skillet or oven-safe baking dish like a 5 by 5 inch and place it in the oven. In a medium-sized bowl, whisk together 1 large egg, 1/4 cup of milk, a half of a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Add 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/8 teaspoon of salt and whisk vigorously to remove lumps. Set the bowl aside. Using oven mitts, carefully remove the skillet from the oven. Swirl the butter around the skillet to coat completely. Add the chopped peach to the skillet, then pour the batter over the peaches. Place the skillet back in the oven and cook until the batter is puffed in the center and golden brown along the edges. This takes about 20 to 25 minutes. Remove from the oven and use a spatula to transfer the Dutch baby from the skillet to a cooling rack or a medium plate to cool for 5 minutes. As the Dutch baby cools, it will deflate quickly. At this point, feel free to add a sprinkling of powdered sugar to the top or top with whipped cream, maple syrup, or additional fresh fruit. So good. This would also make a great dessert. The scoop of vanilla ice cream, warm from the oven. Oh my goodness, it would be like peaches and cream kind of a dessert. Another wonderful thing about any of these recipes is that you can use frozen peaches instead of fresh if that's what you have. Just be sure to thaw the peaches first. So these are my favorite single serving and small batch peach recipes. If you've tried one, let me know how you enjoyed it. And also if you have a favorite peach recipe, let me know about it and leave it in the comments. And be sure to check out these great videos and click below to like and subscribe. At One Dish Kitchen, cooking for one is all we do. Bye for now.